everybody. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how, when I buy BX fonts, how I put them into Embrilliance. It's pretty simple and stuff, but a lot of times it can be kind of confusing if somebody explains it to you. So I am really a visual learner. So when somebody showed me how to do this, then I was like, oh, okay, I'm golden now. I know exactly what to do. So that's kind of like what I want to do for you guys. I want to show you how, when I buy a font from any of the websites, how I put it into Embrilliance, and it's very easy for me to use. Okay, now when you are buying fonts for Embrilliance, it's very important that you buy the font in the format of a BX. And the reason why is because BX fonts BX format fonts are the ones that you can drop into Embrilliance and automatically use it. If you buy a PES font, what's going to happen is you're going to have to add each individual letter into your design. Okay, so I'll show you what'll happen and stuff, so that way you get an understanding. Okay, but let me show you first how I am going to install this brand new file that I bought from Stitchtopia. Okay, now I'm at the Stitchtopia website and I have not even downloaded anything. I saw this really cute font called Mary Embroidery font, and this is what it looks like. I thought it was really cute. Something, you know, the holidays are coming up, so I thought this would be really cool. So I purchased it, and as you see over here, it does say you've already purchased this. So what I'm going to do is it gives it to you in a zip font. So I'm going to double click, and it downloaded it. Okay, now I always look to see where it went. It went to my download, and I see that it says a folder, Stitchtopia. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to launch Embrilliance. Okay, and Embrilliance is open. Okay. Let me put this side by side so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, just give me a minute. I want to make sure that you understand, because there's a lot of windows that sometimes opens up, and I want you to catch them all. Okay, so I've already went here. This is the window that I had where I purchased my font, and then I went and I double clicked, and then it put it down here. Okay, and it downloaded it to my downloads file. Okay, now because I downloaded, I no longer need to go back to Stitchtopia, so I'm going to close this window right here. Okay, okay. They always tell you about the sales. I tell you. That was embroiderydesigns.com. Okay, so now I'm going to put these side by side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on the file that I just downloaded. Okay, and it's going to give me all of these files. Now let me make this a little, let me put it in a little more so that way you guys can see exactly. Let me move the camera so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. There you go. That's a lot better. I think you guys can see this. Okay, now, these are the different inches of the font. See, it says Stitchtopia Mary font 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, 2, 2.5. Okay? Now, this is just information about the stitch. Okay? Now, what I want to do is I want to take these BX files, okay, highlight it, and just drag it towards the window that you have in Embrilliance. Now, let it go. And when you let it go, you get this message. It says files in store. I was going to say in store. You believe that? Files installed. You know, my English and Spanish is so bad. Okay. So now you know that this 1 inch file has been installed. Then I hit OK. I'm going to go back here. I also want, you're going to add them all. Okay. 1.5. Just take it, drag it. Oh, sorry. There you go. Now I get the message that it's been installed. I hit OK. Now let's say that, you know, you don't have to do it one at a time. Okay, let's get fancy. Now we got the other size. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of them. Okay, just to make it quick. Okay, then I'm just going to drag them all three there. I'm going to let go. And there you go. It has the 1 1/4 in there. Now I got the 2" in there. And now I got the 2 1/2. Hit OK. All right. Then what I no longer need this window because now I have my fonts installed there. So I'm going to close this window out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to also close out my Embrilliance. I always like to do this, okay? And it says on save changes. Okay, it thinks I made a design change. I'm going to put don't save. Okay, now I closed out of the program altogether. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to relaunch my Embrilliance. All right, now to check out the new font, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the letter A up here, and that's where you go to create a letter design. Okay, so I'm going to click on that, and then let me move this down so you can see. Okay, because I want to make sure you guys get this. It's a very, very simple process. Let me get the camera right. I got this little arm thing from Amazon to try to hold the camera for me. Okay, so, all right. So I hit the letter A, and you get this box, right? Highlight that. Right here in the text is where you would type things. So I'm going to put Mary, okay? And I'm going to hit enter. Now, this always defaults to my ABC block. I think they all do that, but that's okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to change it to the new font that I installed it, okay? And it was the Stitchtopia Mary. So when I go down here, I'm going to look for all my Stitchtopia files, okay? And then this is always in alphabetical order. So here are all my Stitchtopia files. You can tell I buy their fonts a lot. Okay, so I'm going to go down here and check it out. Look, Mary. The Mary 1" 1 1/2. So I'm going to do the 1 1/2 so that way you guys can see it because it makes it bigger. There you go. Maybe I should have picked the 2. Let me pick the 2. There you go. Installed. Ready to go. And then what's really cool about this, let's say I already selected this font, okay? Let's say I want to do Mary and then I want to move this up. And let's say I want to add Christmas in the same font. It already is at the same font. Then all I got to do is do Christmas. Hit enter. There we go. Now, of course, you know, the Christmas, I want this to be a little closer. So to do that, I would just highlight this. And then you see these little green boxes. This is where you can highlight that one letter. And then with your arrow key, I always suggest doing the arrow key. You know why? Because you want to make sure it stays aligned. You can move this with your mouse, but what happens is you kind of risk the chance of misaligning it because I want it to be straight, super straight. But if and I'll show you because I'm not going to stitch this or anything, but see, look, I want it like that. See, if you go and you hit, look, I want the A. I'm going to highlight the A, hit that box. See, you can move it like this. So sometimes what happens is, you know, you could go like that and you think it's straight at the time, and then when you stitch it, it's not. That's why I kind of like to use the arrow keys. That way I know it's precise. Here you go. Move the Christmas. And there you go. See? Quick video. Very, very simple and stuff like that. Now you can save the file and you can do it on a towel, wherever you want to embroider it and stuff. Then, you know, right here, you would just do a file save and put it on your USB port, take it over to your SE 1900 or whatever embroidery machine you're using and stitch it out. Now, this is another little hint too that I just want to show you while I'm here. Why not? I usually like to thicken my my fonts, okay, because sometimes what happens is they come out really skinny. So little trick that I use is I highlight it, I go over to stitch, okay, and then right here you see comp and it has a 0 point. I always change this to a 2. And when you play with this, you're gonna notice that this does fill in a little more. It fills in a little better, so it looks kind of thicker. So I always, out of a rule of thumb, every time I am stitching out fonts from anywhere, you know, I always look and I always do like a 2. And that way it's just a little bit more richer to me. I don't know. It's just a preference that I use, you know. So anyway, short videos, just something that I wanted to show you guys, you know, on how to do the, you know, the BX on the embroidery machine. Now, let me tell you something else. When, because I had mentioned before, what happens if you don't buy the BX file and you want to go ahead and you purchase a font and then you want to use it, but it's a PES file, it's not BX. Well, unfortunately, if it's not a BX format, then what happens is you can't do the drag and drop. Now, I'm not saying you can't use that file at all. You can, okay? But this is the challenge that you're gonna have, okay? And I'm gonna do a new one, and then I'm gonna show you. What happens is you're going to have to go into your folder wherever you have that font, okay? And then you're going to add the numbers one at a time. And I'm going to pause the camera because I know I had bought a font that's a PES format, and I want to show you how I do it. Okay, so I will be right back once I find that font. Okay, I am back. I was able to find the fonts that I had purchased. Now, this was before I had Embrilliance, and I was trying to look for how can I go ahead and, you know, put different fonts, okay? Because I did get someone that reached out to me and said, hey, you know, how were you able to put different fonts on the SC1900 so that you can use them, you know, PS, right? So this is a font. If you look real closely, I bought it and it's all PS format. Now, if you notice, okay, each of these is a separate file. It has a lower A, lower B, lower C, lower D, right? So if I'm in Embrilliance and I want to add these files to a design that I'm trying to do in Embrilliance, I would have to actually select each of these files and add them individually. So I'm going to do just ABC so you can see. Okay, so I'm going to select a lower A and I'm going to open it and see it's right there. Okay, it's really like small, you know. You could tell I was very, very new at these font things, and you know, I was just like, so I'm going to move this around. Okay, and then let's say I want a B. So what's going to happen is I have to go back, and now I want to select the lower B and I want to open it. See, so now I have B, but see, with Embrilliance, what happens is every time you open up a new file, it opens up a brand new window, right? Because right up here, it has lower A, then here lower B, right? So now let me go in and I'm just going to select the lower C. You're going to see a brand new window with the lower C. There you go. So now I got 3 windows. So you see, it's kind of like a pane, you know? So now I have to go in here into the window that has the lower B. I highlight it, right click it, I do copy. Then I go in here where it has the lower A, and then I have to do a paste. And there you go. Now I have both in there, okay? And then I can manipulate it however I want. Now I got to go to the window that has the lower C. I have to click on it, right click on it, do a copy, go back to the window that had the lower A. Let me paste it in here, and then boom, now I got all. So as you can see, when you buy a PS font file, okay, and you're not using Embrilliance, what happens is you have to add each letter individually. And then you have to modify them, adjust them and stuff, then save the file in your your flash drive, then take it over to the USB port. Now, let's say you want to design this in your SC1900. Well, then what I would say is then you would have to take all of those files that you have in your PES, and I can't find them now. I don't know where they are. Oh, let me see. Hold on. Let me do a new one. Okay, there you go. So that means all of these files, I would recommend saving them to your USB. I was going to say save it on USB port. On your flash drive, take it over to your machine, and then from your USB port, you have to add each letter individually and design it. It can really, really, if you have the time, that's fine. But the way I see it is, it's just so much simpler when you buy the BX file. So I myself, being new, I learned the hard way that sometimes what you need to do is just go look for BX files. It's so simple when you just go into Embrilliance and, you know, you can just, let me get out of here, cancel, sorry. And then if you go into Embrilliance, it's just so much easier because then you just click on this and then you can select all the fonts that you have right here that you've purchased. And then all you have to do is just, you know, just type it in right here in this text box and then it'll just come out. It's just so much quicker. It saves you so much time. See, I mean, it's like you can't beat that. So just wanted to do this quick video because someone did reach out and ask about the fonts and stuff, about buying individual and the BX. So I just, you know, thought this would help a lot of people out there. So hope you enjoyed this video and give it a thumbs up. You know, please subscribe to my channel, Boricua Sewing and Crafts. I try to put out as much helpful videos as possible to try to help people that are new to embroidery and I try to share whatever I discover in the world. Okay, so have a great day and, you know, enjoy embroidery. Bye.